Greetings. This is the Timeshare Traveler. Today is episode 308. My second impression with Hyatt Vacation Club was amazing. It was great, more what I expected. So the second location, what it really did, it offered me a deep dive, and I'll go with what I'm going to talk about today is the summary of my second stay to see why I was great versus my first impression. And how did my impression change? So I'll talk about that. And then I have some unanswered questions as a result. I'm still trying to evaluate the Hyatt Vacation Club program, and then the next steps that I have to sort of resolve those unanswered questions. So let me jump, and then at the very end I'll tell you about my channel. Let's jump in and talk about the summary of my second stay. So here's a summary of my second stay. I stayed at the Hyatt Vacation Club in Lake Tahoe area. It's known as the Northstar Lodge. It's literally right across the street from the Northstar Village. I booked it via the marketing package I had bought in my first stay, so it was $199 for the 2 nights. Was able to upgrade to a 2-bedroom. I didn't want to do the studio because I wanted to see what the kitchen was like. To me, that was a better expression of what the timeshare would be like, and I was willing to sacrifice 1 night stay for that, but had to keep the same price. I still got the $100 gift card for the presentation. Ended up, surprisingly enough, that what was available was a 3-bedroom at check-in, so I exceeded the 2-bedroom. Not that for one person that was necessary, but I ended up with it. That was what was available at check-in. It had a large primary bedroom with a walk-in closet. Had a separate tub and shower. It was a combination. It was amazing. The second bedroom also had a separate bathroom, so it was like they had 2 different suites within the 3-bedroom, even though there was no separate entrances or anything like that. And then there was a 3rd bedroom, all of them which had king-size beds. And then there was a shared bathroom that could then be used by people in the living room and so forth, or the 3rd bedroom. Again, it was a huge living room, nice fireplace and everything. And I've already got the review up on the site, so I'll put a link in the description so that you can actually refer back to it. So let me talk about what changed my perceptions. So now let's talk about how did my impressions change. Well, first of all, the stay at the Hyatt Northstar was luxurious. I guess ultimately it was my perception of what I expected from a Hyatt and preconceived, so it actually met my expectations, what I would expect from a Hyatt hotel or the brand itself. The room was spacious, the amenities were luxurious, everything was first class, the service, everything that you got was amazing. The unit was on top, well, with the top Marriott and Hilton timeshare locations. Interestingly enough, even with the quality, they were actually in the middle of renovations, because this is one of their flagship locations. It gets tons of use, particularly during the ski season. And so they had one of the 3 buildings was the facade was being done, and then they were going to be redoing the rooms. So it's pretty amazing that I was able actually to get opportunity to stay in the summer. Again, I was struck by the commitment to luxury and top-level service. So this changed. I have felt the service before at the first location, but the first location felt dated. So it felt good to actually stay in what I expected from a Hyatt brand. So let's talk about the next steps and unanswered questions. Now I'm going to talk about the unanswered questions. So I'm still in the process of trying to learn the system, see the units, try to decide what I've got, but I still have some questions in my mind, which I'll go through in the next steps, how I'm going my process to resolve that. And now see that Hyatt has high quality locations, so that was like, okay. If the second one had been the same as the first, I would have been like, I don't know, I already got Marriott, that seems good enough. The other question I have is, do I need more high quality locations, given I have Hilton and Marriott locations, which have quite a few luxurious locations? And it's really based on the cost. When I looked at the maintenance fees, when they talked about it, it was somewhere between $200 a night for a 2-bedroom and $350 depending on the location, time, and all that when you're actually there. And so another question I have to sort of do is I've been searching interval to see how many locations I can get. Maybe I won't get the peak seasons, maybe that's what I'll trade off, but maybe I'll get access to them and that'll be good enough. I might decide to stay at a 4th location especially if I can book it via Interval International. There's another one in Lake Tahoe, right on Incline Village, I think it is, right on the lake itself. So I think I'd like to try staying at that to see what I can do it. And it is available via Interval International. It's not going to be available in the middle of ski season at Christmas time, but as far as that goes for me, I'm looking this as more potentially as a supplemental luxurious stay, getaway, quick getaway kind of thing. Not sure, because I have the Marriott if I want to book that, so I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do. If I use my WorldMark and Interval International exchange fees, I can stay closer to the 100 to 150. Now again, it may be the off-peak season, but it's still quite a bit below what I'm seeing on a points maintenance fee costs on the if I were an owner of Hyatt. And again, if I book some level of Hyatt locations via Interval, do I need that by Hyatt points? And with the Marriott locations, there's a lot of Marriott locations close to Lake Tahoe too, so does Hyatt really add that much value? So those are kind of the questions in my head. If you don't have Marriott, you might have a whole different perspective of, oh wow, I'll get the quality, I can get it via Interval, but maybe I should have just a minimal amount just for that 1 week I want to have. So anyway, let's now go to next steps. And finally, let's talk about next steps. Before, let me first cover what I've done so far with regards to the Hyatt Vacation Club. I stayed at a location by booking through Interval International. That was the first one. At that location, I bought the marketing package, and then I stayed at the second location in Northstar, and I've got the room review that you can take a look at. And I completed my first sales presentation, which I've also posted the feedback from that. So next up is to book a third location, evaluate a third location, then evaluate in my mind the program versus expectations versus costs, and then I'll be in the state, should I go to a second presentation or should I visit a fourth location, and then see what makes sense for me. Maybe I can just do stuff via Interval, or maybe something that would be important to do with Hyatt itself. So anyway, that's the process I'm following up on. Don't forget to give a video a like, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And now I'll tell you a little bit about my channel. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and WorldMark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com.